What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Real Fans FC. And today we got a good World Cup video for you today. And if you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be discussing what would happen if the World Cup started today and who will win. For some people, the answer is obvious. For others, it may be hyperbolic and not hyperbolic. That was a terrible word to use, but I don't know. I'll pass it over to you, Will. I lost track. I completely woofed
Guys,
that.
it's a Thursday. We're just getting off of work. Julian got off, or he's technically not even off. He's still on. I just got off an hour ago. We are tired. It is a Thursday. Yeah, like you said, dude, it is World Cup fever. The season is coming around. Julian, I was kind of looking at my calendar earlier this week, looking at work, talking about that. Kind of just chopping it up with some people. And you and I have obviously chopped it up a little bit. We're looking at trying to go to a Miami game. Obviously, I've been looking out, reaching out to family about the Panama game. But the World Cup is upon us, my friend. The time is
Mhm.
here, the time is now, and the time is coming. So it is exciting. It's crazy to really think about it. I mean, dude, we're almost less than 4 months away. We are essentially almost 3 months away. So, and obviously we're gonna have a huge March window. We're gonna be covering that more. Like you said, obviously we have a lot of big content coming up, even for these upcoming friendlies. This
Mhm.
upcoming finalissima between Argentina and Spain. So if you guys already have not subscribed to the channel, obviously click that notification button, keep in tune with joining me. But yeah, dude, this is a this is a juicy question. This is like I'm talking about. This
And I
is
wanted to
a
do it now prior to the March window because there's a lot of crazy, really good friendlies. Obviously, the
Yeah,
Finalissima, like you said, like a lot of good games, but I don't want that to affect our judgment of how it is now.
yeah, yeah. This is like a baked potato with cheese, sour cream, bacon shreddings,
No, you
dude,
mean a baked
lettuce.
potato with tuna, sour
Oh,
cream.
I I don't know about tuna, but I'm talking
You know
about
what I'm talking
loaded
about, right?
down. Yeah, yeah. But dude, this is a
Yeah,
hot
have a
potato
spud, bruv.
question. The Spud Bros. I didn't even
No,
realize
bruv.
it. I didn't pick it
The
up.
bruv.
The bro the bruv.
You never seen
But yeah,
those?
no. I know what you're talking about, Spud Bros. I know those guys.
No, no. There's like a thing in England, the street
Mhm.
potatoes, they put like fucking potatoes and tuna and cheese on it's disgusting. They
That
swear by
is
it. But let's get back on
ouch.
topic here. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty gross. Yeah, anyways, listen, so I'm not gonna pick England as my team
Mhm.
to win, uh, after that, but I'll be real, man, there's a lot of good teams. There's
Yeah.
a lot of teams, and honestly, this question can go a lot of different ways. The question I wanna ask for you, kinda just kicking it off, Julian, is there a clear-cut favorite? And what I mean by that, is there a one team and I feel like I already know your answer, but I wanna hear what you have to say. Is there a team that just is the outright favorite going into this tournament?
For me, absolutely yes. And I will dive into it now, and that is Spain to me. To me, Spain is the hottest, they're the most talented team in the world right now. Like I said, they're not just a contender to me, like they are going in there as should be winning it, in my opinion. Considering the talent that they have on the field, on the bench, they just have deep pieces everywhere. I would say the only big weakness that they really have is in the center back position, but even then compared to what other teams have, it's up there, like, but I will say it's kind of like one of the lower echelons of defenses, but for some reason, they just play well as a team, and I will say, I think this is it right here, they are the first European team since France to hold the World Cup. Wait, that's a wrong stat, I'm gonna cut that out. I just realized that stat was not right, or that or I'm reading it wrong. Alright, anyways,
Also, for
alright, but yeah, I will say since, the World Cup, it seems like this team really kind of rejuvenated itself. Under, Luis Enrique, it felt like the team just lacked a lot of creativity, a lot of the ability to finish, and since Luis de la Fuente has come into the picture, this team has just been completely dominant. I will say, like, going into the Euros, I didn't have did you have Spain as a favorite, like, going into that Euros to win it? I didn't. To me, it was easily like a France. England, I was always a little skeptical of, but they went completely undefeated in the entire tournament and honestly, like, dominated all the way through. They didn't look like on the they didn't look scared at all. Like, pretty much they just completely wiped the floor with that tournament. They then go into Nations League. That one got a little bit more sketchy where they had close games against the Netherlands and France, but they handled them no problem. They still won. Obviously, they went into Netherlands against the penalties game, which was a crazy game. But they've gotten back to back titles already. They completely dominated World Cup qualifying. I mean, they're beating probably the second best team in their group, Turkey, 6-0 and 3-0. I mean, this and they just have this perfect mix of youth and experience. I mean, you guys obviously in the attack, you look at guys like Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, like probably the two most deadliest duos in international football. And then right behind them, you have Rodri, and who is obviously Ballon d'Or winner. I mean, you're talking about a team that has runner-up Ballon d'Or in Lamine Yamal this year, and then also the reigning Ballon d'Or winner of 2024. And then obviously Pedri, who is just an electrifying person who when healthy, can really make a difference on the field. And then in the goalkeepers, you have Unai Simon, you have David Raya, whichever one you want to go there. So it's like this team just has like I said, it feels like every level. This I'm not even mention Danny Olmo. That's another guy too. Like the only thing I will say is that the striker position isn't super elite, but there's still quality nonetheless. So like I said, the defense, the center back position really gives me a little bit concerned, especially from what we've seen in the Nations League. But then, based on what we saw in World Cup qualifying, I don't think they allowed a goal or maybe one goal. They definitely didn't allow more than two. So they've just like I said, I have the stat right here. They've kept clean sheets in over 60% of their fixtures this year in 2025 or previous year 2025. So yeah, man. Like I said, this team is just rolling. I'm curious how it's going to line up in the Finalissima this March against Argentina. But to me, like it's clear, the clear cut winner for in my book.
Yeah, I to answer my question, I would agree. There is a clear-cut favorite. It is España,
España.
L La Roja, the Big Red Riding Hood, whatever you wanna call them around the world. This is the clear-cut favorite. I like you said, Julian, the talent on this team, obviously I mean, you're talking about the center back role. Dude, it's crazy to say that's their weakness, but, you know, you're either picking a Lemon or you're picking a Pau Cubarsí, you know, or you're it's
That's what
just
I'm
it
saying.
blows my
If you
mind.
if you had to
Like
look at the levels of the field, that's
yeah,
probably their weakest spot because I wouldn't say there's
yeah.
anybody there that's purely elite on the international stage. But
Mhm.
like, dude, they're it's just a team that's just so well rounded. Oh, your mic cut out. Right, I hear you.
Got me again?
Yep.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. This is not only the most high prolific team on paper, on stats, on the field and off the field. This is a team that is showing that they're going to be mythologic with their approach. They're going to be
I might not even heard
absolutely.
of that word.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I'd heard Stephen A. Smith say that word before, so I'm going to use it about Spain. This is a team that is just what they're producing on the field is truly, and the way they look off the field. I mean, dude, you're looking at even guys right now, like you were stating, guys in Barca, Real Madrid. Obviously, we're seeing guys all over, you know, even the Premier League playing well, and they're Spanish. So this is a team that, man, dude, it is going to be they're going to be high flying offense, low block defense, great midfield. I mean, dude, the goalkeeping position, there's a real shot that like a Raya Sanchez may not even get called up, you know, or even the Chelsea goalkeeper, Roberto Sanchez, I believe his name. He may not get called up. You know, it's just that is mind boggling to think guys like that may not even get a call up. So obviously the depth is there. Now, I will say, personally for me, Jordan, Spain
Mhm.
is the clear cut favorite. I think a lot of people around the world would agree with that. I think most people would agree with it. But I have to say, and I have to digress, and I have to mention a team that is not only known around the world for shocking people, for being this prolific team, for coming up to the world stage and just not being afraid of it, and it's Argentina. This is a team that I look at, and I will be quite honest. Yes, they won the last World Cup, the last two Copa Americas. People are kind of obviously, and it's clear as day. He's getting older by the minute, and a Lionel Messi and a Rodrigo de Paul, and other guys, on the team as well, like a Lautaro Martinez. But this is still a team in my eyes that when the world stage is on, and this tournament essentially, obviously, it's not directly there, but it's essentially in their backyard, and their fans are going to sell out. Every single game is going to be a packed out house for these guys.
Dude, I
It-
really think you're underestimating how far South America is from the United
okay,
States.
it's don't get me wrong, it's a flight, I respect it, but it's obviously closer than Africa or Asia or Europe or any of those countries for a
Mm,
matter,
yeah.
you know? Depending where, but my thing is still there's already a lot of Argentina here.
Yeah, you
Those
got a
guys are
lot
gonna
of,
travel.
what are they called? Like, a lot of, fake Argentinian fans in there.
You do. You got a lot of secret agents. You
Secret
got a
agents,
lot of secret
that's the
agents.
words I was like
Yeah,
yeah.
you got a lot of I Spy kids in there. I'm gonna be real. But yeah, I just for me personally, there's an Argentina. Now I will be honest, dude, kind of honorable shout. These are teams that I kind of looked at and you look at it and you could say, well, tournament time comes around. Could they be a different team? Do they have the pieces to make a run? Because, dude, I'll be real with you. Answering this question is not necessarily who's the best team, who's the most talented team, and who's the team that can win on the field. It's the team that can make the best run. Who's going to set themselves up in a position to be able to go into the knockout rounds and win one or two games pretty solid, convincingly, I would say, and then go into like a quarterfinal game, maybe have a little bit of a heartbeat, get into the semifinals, win solid, and go into the finals. And that's pretty much an exact replica of what Argentina too. So, I look at teams, obviously there's a lot, you could say a potentially a France could repeat again, or even if like, I look at a Netherlands. They're a type of team that scares me like that as well. Or even, dude, don't let these boys get hot, Colombia, you know. So there's a lot of different teams in there. It's really hard to say, but for me personally, Argentina is the most tournament ready team out of all the big dogs.
Yeah, my one thing with Argentina, and I briefly mentioned it in my power rankings video, is that I just have concerns that they're kind of in this weird transitional period where they're still trying to figure out who's going to play what. I feel like they have so many players at their disposal, and they've just kind of been cycling them around a ton. And then how are you going to handle the Messi situation or the Rodrigo the Pauls? Like, I just feel like there's a lot of question marks there. And I'm really curious to see what Scalonia does. Obviously, they're still contenders in my book. They're still a really talented team, but there's also a lot of young players who are going to be entering the World Cup for the first time for them, and kind of in this weird transitional period. Now, a team that, in my opinion, should be a contender, but you just can't trust is England. This is an England team that is so ridiculously stacked, but they have just consistently underperformed in my book. And if you can't, I mean, you look at the Euros, man. Like, yes, they made it to the finals. But that was the most like unconvincing finals run in I've ever seen in the Euros. Like, it felt like they struggled and chugged along, and they just kind of benefited from the path that they had. But if they can get it together, man, this team is so insane. I mean, having guys like Marcus Rashford, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Harry Kane, like Declan Rice, like the list goes on. Like, these are not just like good players. These are some of the best players in their position in the world. These are world class players. I mean, I named like what four of those that are I would say world class players by far, like Bellingham, Declan Rice, Harry Kane, Phil Foden, maybe. But yeah, like there's no reason that this team should. I mean, Trent Alexander Arnold, like there's no reason that this team is not competing for the title. And maybe they turn it around, and I will give them the benefit of the doubt that they could, but I just feel like they have to prove it to me first. And maybe they will this window because I think they have a Netherlands matchup that I think is a really good matchup for them in March. So yeah.
Yeah. The way you feel about England, dude, and I'll be honest with you real quick, is the way I feel about the team that you're repping right now on this video, Brazil. Stack left to right, top to bottom, up the field, down the field, wherever you want to go. This is a team that I look at the center back position we were talking about earlier. Dude, Marquinhos may not start. You know what I mean? You have a Marquinhos, you have a Gabriel who plays over at Arsenal. You have left and right all over the field. Now, I will say the wingers, the left and right back, the fullback position is a little bit weaker on this Brazilian national team that we've seen in past generations. But still, I just look at the talent and I look at, I mean, just one of the best clubs in the world in Real Madrid. And they've got like what, 3, 4 Brazilians, you know what I mean? And Eder Militao, you have obviously Vinny, Rodrigo, and Enrique, who made the move over now this summer or this winter. But like I said, I don't have to say names just to talk about how deep this. They're all over the field, every position. So yeah, I agree with you, man. It's so intriguing international football for me personally is the way you could have the most stacked roster and be so down, and just every position you have guys playing in the top 5 leagues of the world, like every single position you have, even your bench players, but yet you lose a game to Haiti or you draw a game to like an Algeria. It's just the dynamic of international football. I have to say, dude, I love it. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's it for this video. If you guys made it to the end of this video, we greatly appreciate it. Those are our thoughts on who would win or how people would perform if the World Cup was to start today. If you want to see more World Cup content just like this, please be sure to like and subscribe to the content, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.